There are so many ways to make money as an artist, especially right now with the internet and social media and print on demand. There's just so many things you can do, so many avenues to take, but some of them work well, some of them don't. And it really depends on your circumstances and the time that you have and the things that you're passionate about. I've been working as a professional artist for 10 years. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the things that have worked for me and the things that have been total flops. So stick around to the end to get all of my best ideas. The things that will work for you will be different than what works for me because I'm a mom of 4 kids. And so I've had to adjust as things have changed with my life as I've had pregnancies and newborns and kids in school and kids in preschool and napping and pickups. And I've had to really adjust the things that I do to make money as different seasons have come and gone throughout my life. I've also figured out that some things, while they might be good money makers, are too emotionally draining for me to continue. And some things that I love to do don't practically make enough money to make it worth it. I did go to school for art, and the first year after graduation, I started bookbinding and selling my books on Etsy. Bookbinding was my favorite class in college. I just fell in love with it and had such a good time. And so I wanted to start my own bookbinding business. And I did that. I started an Etsy shop and I would make books in our little apartment and sell them. And it actually went really well. People really wanted my books, and that was so fun to see it grow so fast. And I really enjoyed making them, and I would make custom books, and everything was really growing. But then I had our first baby and life changed, and it was not practical anymore for me to be making physical books and shipping them. Just the time involvement was not worth the money that I was making, because people don't really, at least this was 10 years ago, but I didn't feel like people wanted to spend more than like $40 or $50 on a journal, and they would take me several hours to make. And so it wasn't worth my time and the space that it would take up in our house to have all the bookbinding equipment out. I was doing it in my son's nursery for a little while, and I couldn't do it when he was sleeping, which that's the only time you have as a parent. And so, yeah, it just wasn't making sense. So I'm still sad that I stopped doing that because I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't practical anymore. So had to move on. Maybe one day I will make videos about bookbinding. We'll see. There's also a limit to how much I could make based on the time I could spend. And so I knew it wasn't going to be scalable very easily since I didn't have other people to work for me. I wasn't ready to hire that out. So even if something is successful, it might not be scalable or practical long term. Next, I got into digital downloads on Etsy. And it was actually, I feel like it was before that became such a popular thing. It was when I was making my books, I would make lined paper to print and put in them, and like bullet journal paper and stuff like that. And since I was making it anyway, I just listed it in my Etsy shop, and I made a bunch of other lined papers, and those have sold, but I only sell them for like a couple dollars each. And so I don't make a ton of money with them, but I made them 10 years ago and they're still making me like $100 a month passively, like literally passive. I don't do anything. I guess occasionally I answer a message like every couple months or so, but that's really nice to have it because it pays for my website and other little things that I might need. So Etsy digital downloads, I have added some more things like patterns and things like binder covers. I've added more things to my Etsy shop since then, and I'm always thinking I need to do more of that because it is working still. Even with how saturated Etsy has gotten, I still think there's more room for more ideas. So I hope to do more of that because it is one of the things that has actually been successful. But the thing about Etsy digital downloads is you have to know that some things are going to work really well and some things are just not. And so you have to be okay with that and maybe not spend too much time making a digital product because it might be a flop. I've done that a few times. And then the things that I think won't sell well actually do. I don't know. But it's worth it because it doesn't take that much time. And again, it's passive. So that's awesome. All right. So then about 6 years ago, I had an opportunity to, I'm looking at these little baby hairs right here. My baby's 6 months old, and you can tell because these little hairs. Anyway, about 6 years ago, I had the opportunity to do my first children's book, and that is what I went to art school for. I wanted to be a children's book illustrator my whole life. And so, of course, I took the opportunity. I was paid a few $1,000s, which like was worth it to me at the time. And so I was able to illustrate this book. It took a lot of my time. It was a ton of work, like especially the first book that you illustrate. Like you realize how much time is spent just formatting and working with the text and working with the art director and the author and printing things and coloring. Anyway, there's so much that goes into children's books, and it is so fulfilling, so rewarding. I'm so proud of myself for doing it, but it's so much work. And so I would not recommend it unless you're like getting big gigs with children's books. Like if it's worth it to you, then go for it. Yeah. If it's going to take up your whole year like me and it's only a few $1,000s, then maybe not a good idea. But if it's a passion project, that's a good reason to do it too. Just being honest with you, for things that actually make money, I probably wouldn't do children's books to make money, especially now with AI, sadly. I'm really glad I did it before AI, because it would have been hard to be motivated to work that hard on it, knowing that AI could just come up with these images like in seconds that took me all day, So I'm glad I did it. Really, really glad I did it. But I wouldn't suggest it as a way to make great money right now. I don't know. There are people who do it and have figured it out. If you like make several children's books and you're selling all of them, then maybe you can make good money doing that. But if you're just making a couple, it's not going to support you long term. Probably. Maybe your book will be the next most popular book, but I wouldn't count on it. All right. Commissions. I have very rarely offered commissions because I just don't love them. For a lot of people, it's their bread and butter of being an artist is doing commissions. For me, it feels like it takes away from the things I really want to do, because I'm always trying to do what other people want me to do, and I'm doing what other people want me to do. It doesn't feel like I'm fulfilling that creative side of me. It's just like the act of making art is fun, but I'm not getting to be creative with it. It's so stressful to me when somebody is paying me money to make something look a certain way, and I feel like their expectations are so high. Like it's probably more in my head than in real life, but I feel like they expect perfection, and I put the pressure so hard on myself to make it good, and I never feel like I can charge enough for the stress that I put myself under. So I don't offer commissions, but I do take them occasionally if it's somebody that I have a good relationship with already and the thing they're asking for is not going to take me too long and I just want to do it out of the goodness of my heart. I will do commissions, but I don't offer them because they're just not my thing. But I guess this is a type of commission, live wedding painting. So far, this has been my most successful for making money as an artist. There's so many things about it that just make so much sense, especially as a mom, because I can spend time on the weekends when my husband's home to be with the kids. I can go and get some time to myself and go paint at somebody's wedding. And then I do have to work on it for the next few weeks after that, which can be a little tricky, but we make it work. But it is good money for the time that you spend doing it. And you can make a few $1,000s in a weekend doing wedding paintings. And so I think that is so wonderful. And yes, it is commission, but you also can put your heart into it. And it's also a performance, which is fun for me. I am a performer. I always have been. And so I get that fun adrenaline rush of like being in front of people and getting to socialize and getting to paint and making money. So I think that's one of my top ways to make money as an artist. Sometimes it is stressful commission wise because especially they're spending a lot of money on this painting and they only get one wedding painting, and so it does need to be good quality. So that can get stressful. But at the end of the day, usually people are really happy about it and just glad that you came because the experience of having a live painter is part of what they're paying for. And along those lines, guest portraits. I honestly didn't want to do guest portraits, but people were asking me about them, and so I decided to offer them. And I like them even more than live wedding painting. I think they're so much fun because you get to go, and yes, it's speed mode. You have to make portraits in like under 5 minutes for each couple. You don't have to, but if you want to be able to do large events, you kind of do need to go that fast. So it is fast. And the first one I did felt a little stressful, more fun though. And since then, yeah, it's a good kind of stress. I like doing it because people are usually happy with how it turns out. They're not expecting perfection because you're doing it really quickly, and they're just happy to have something that's handmade and special and memorable from the event. And the couple is the one who pays for it, and so I do a painting that I take a little more time on for them. It's not as big as a live wedding painting, but just like a smaller 8x10 watercolor. I'll do that for them afterwards, and those are fun for me. They're not as pressured, and I can send them to the couple. Anyway, I really like doing live guest portraits. They are my number one top moneymaker right now, and they're good time for money. Another thing that I have tried is selling original artwork, and I can't say for sure if this has been a good or a bad thing. I've sold some originals, some of them have not sold, but that's probably mostly on me for not marketing them super well. I'm not the most consistent on social media. If you're a subscriber here, you probably know that. I have kids, so I can't be on a screen all day. But yeah, I could do better at marketing my original artwork. When I do, it sells. And so I do want to do more of that. I feel like the more the world goes to AI and things like that, the more people will value original hand painted and handmade things. So that's what I've been leaning towards lately. That's why I like live wedding painting and live guest portraits, because they are made by a human. And I think that's what other people like about them as well. The harder part with original art is that you do have to build an audience and a following that really believes in you and connects with you as a person in order to make them want to buy your originals. Because let's see, art is more than just something pretty to look at. It's a connection with another person. And on that note, I think that's why my online shop has not been going so well. I started an online shop, I think I opened it in the fall, and yeah, that's kind of been a flop. I'm embarrassed to admit that here. All I put in it was just prints of my originals that I can sell through another website, so I don't actually have to ship them myself. But yeah, I can't say that I expected it to make a ton of money, but I was hoping that it would, because it's more on the passive side of things I can do without spending too much time on it and without having like a ton of junk in my house or worrying about going to the post office or having to make new things all the time. So maybe I need to do more marketing there too. But I don't know. I see other artists that seem to be doing well with their online shops, and maybe they just market better than I do. But just had to be honest, mine has not been going well, and I don't know if I'm passionate about it enough to keep pushing it, you know? I think I would rather focus on other things. Next are some things that I do want to try. I really have been planning on doing I'm scared to say this out loud, but I had plans to do it at the beginning of the year before my toddler stopped napping. I was going to start a mail club. I do see other artists being successful with that. I'm not counting on it being successful. You don't know, just because it worked for somebody else, it might not work for you. But it sounds fun to me, and I have good ideas for it. And so I think I want to try that, because if it does work, it seems like a good use of time. I just think the like subscription model sounds like a good way to make money. I'll let you know if I do try it. Another thing I want to try is making digital courses, either like kids art classes or a landscape painting class or something like that. I don't know how people do courses on like Skillshare or School. I don't know how that works, but I might look into it at some point or just sell digital courses on my own and just kind of see how that goes, or digital products even with my art. Thought about that. We'll see. I guess I kind of do that on Etsy sometimes, but yeah, like not through my actual professional website. And then the other thing that I have always wanted to look into is licensing and surface pattern design. I love, love, love making patterns, and I never get sick of it. And I know AI can do it pretty well now, but I still think I have a good eye for them. And so I want to see if I can figure out how to license patterns at some point. That's on my list of things to try. So anyway, I know there's so many ways to make money as an artist. I hope my honesty has helped you. The top ways for me have been live wedding painting and live guest portraits, hands down, as far as time for money goes. And for passive income, digital products on Etsy has been great. I haven't actually sold my art on Etsy, but I've sold things that go along with art on Etsy, and it goes well. So there you have it, what has worked for me and what has not worked for me in the past 10 years as a professional artist. And I hope that you are able to take something from this. Whatever works for you might be different than what works for me. Again, I have weird schedules with little kids. I'm going to stop talking because I'm really tired and my thoughts are not coming out right. But hopefully I will be making videos once a week now because we have this set up. Thank you for watching this. I hope that you like and subscribe. I know I'm not super consistent here, but I try to do them when I can so that I can help other artists who are in the same boat of trying to figure out how to make a little side income. So happy to help. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. I'm going to stop talking. Bye.